So, Steph, how have you been, mate?
Yeah, all good. Let's see, looking just good. Yeah, just been getting on with life now. After we've
Yeah,
just had a baby. He's 8 months old, so
right.
he's dealing with.
Busy.
He sleeps, to be fair, so we're not too bad. So yeah, and it was 7-year-old daughter's birthday last weekend. So yeah, just been busy with life, work, adjusting
Oh,
to life, work now. So I work on the
that's it,
railway
mate,
now,
innit?
so it's a bit different.
Oh, that's a graft. Yeah,
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah.
Do you know what's mad as well? Like when you go into like industries like you've just got into, you without being rude, your rugby don't matter to no one, does it?
No, exactly. No, that's it. It's just
Nice, or is that a bit?
yeah, it is a bit. It is. But what I do was, well, I went into personal training when I retired because
Yeah,
when you're playing, I don't know if you know Tim Holmes at Widnes Sherlock.
yeah,
He's a brilliant bloke.
yeah,
He was always helping the lads, trying and get you stuff to do when you retire as you're
yeah,
playing. Just a bit of a plan. I did a personal training course while I was at Widnes, and then I ended up going into that with one of my mates in Wigan. Um, But then just with it happened to go, I happened to go self-employed in January 2020, and then obviously COVID happened. So I
right,
was
okay.
just knackered. So then I literally applied for network rail jobs in Wigan, and I think came up as signalling. So I'm a signaller on the railway now.
Sound.
It's good, yeah. So it's completely different, but I enjoy it. Good.
That's it. It's mad how the world works out, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And probably is a nice little break away from like what you've done all your life, like we'll touch on in a bit. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, no, it's there's
Yeah, when
quite a few areas in Wigan doing that. Isn't there? There's like Liam Colburn's got his thing going on, and then Steve Wild's doing his thing. He Kurt does a bit, doesn't he?
yeah,
With like a few of like the local lads around there, Kurt Ag. So no, it's good to see, mate.
yeah,
So
yeah.
right out, where was home for you as a kid, and who lived with you, mate?
So I'm from a little place called Winstanley in Wigan.
Yeah,
Um, I live like 5 minutes away from it now. My mum still lives there, and I always say I'm a proper mummy's boy. I mean, I can't move too far away from my mum, so I'm only 5 minutes away. Um, yeah, so I grew up with my mum, stepdad, and then I'm one of five, so I've got three brothers and a sister. So yeah, one of my brothers is my youngest brother's got Down syndrome and autism, so he lived with us as well and stuff like that. So it was always fun growing up with him. He's a laugh now. We've moved there, but we still go. We've all moved out apart from my little brother now, but I'm there nearly every day. So
yeah,
yeah, just going and
class.
seeing him and stuff. So yeah, just a little place in Winstanley, and then just, like I say, just a nice area really.
Yeah. So where's the competitive edge come from, mate? Was it always there?
I think so. Yeah, my dad brought us up with it, like never let us win at anything. He used to always say, he still says it now that I've never beat him in a race. So obviously my thing when I was playing was always my speed. Um,
Yeah.
but,
I was gonna say
but
it's not like you're slow, is it?
yeah, but my dad was really quick when
Yeah.
so my dad played rugby when he was obviously growing up and stuff. He broke his neck when he was 18. Playing, I think he was playing in some sort of I don't know if it was for St. Pat's or someone else. He's fine now. He can walk and all stuff like that. But he was really quick. But he's quite big, my dad. So I think he played prop,
Right.
but he could run really fast.
Big.
But he never. Remember, he was younger, like even from being like 10, he'd race us and he would sprint, and there's no chance of us beating
Yeah.
him. And then he'd sprint to end at road, and he'd be cheering, never beat me and all that until I got to about 16, and stopped racing me then. So I
Not in
think
the
just
car
like that,
instead.
yeah, just stuff like that. Me granddad, we
Yeah.
used to play like all sport. My family's quite sport mad, really. Everyone loves it, so we
Yeah.
play everything, and we play cricket in my granddad's garage. And he'd he had this little ball that he used to just chip because he knew he could bowl us and just get us out every time. So that we never allowed to win. So that then
Yeah.
I used to have quite a bad temper. I used to be quite a bad loser.
Yeah.
I've got a bit better as I've got older now, but yeah, I think it just comes from there, really.
Mm. No, I imagine, mate. It's like if you were out like us, any sort of, if you didn't have wickets, it was a flag stood up or
Yeah, that's what it was. It used to
like
be in the
any.
back garden.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it. Yeah, we were
yeah,
like that on the backfield and that. Yeah.
yeah.
No, so wait, with that type of environment, mate, was sport always going to be something you lean towards? If you couldn't do it professionally, would you have still played anyway?
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
As soon as I think there's a picture of me, I think like as soon as I could walk, I've got a Wigan rugby ball in my hand, and that's my dad's side of my family have all been massive rugby fans and massive Wigan fans, all growing up and stuff now.
yeah,
So and then I love sport. I watch everything.
yeah,
But it's on that when I come home, first thing I do is on Sky channels, sport channels every time.
yeah,
But yeah, I love it. So still now, since I retired, I play football on a Wednesday night, just 7 aside with my mates, and
yeah.
I'm golfing all the time as well. I love golf, addicted to golf.
Yeah, you're good at your golf, mate.
All right, yeah,
So do you know when like you were playing in that and say your mates were probably doing 7 aside anyway, weren't they, when you were playing?
yeah.
Would you be allowed to do that or not?
We weren't allowed, but I did play a few
Yeah, of
games.
course you would,
Yeah,
wouldn't you? You
yeah, we
can't
weren't
like
allowed.
it's just life, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah,
but
well,
you would it'd have been frowned upon, sort of thing.
yeah, but
Yeah,
no, I never said anything like I did.
yeah,
When say I love football. When I was
yeah,
growing up, because obviously my school didn't play, my school didn't have a rugby team, so I always played football.
yeah,
And even until I was 16, going into where you sign in the academy, or I always played both. So I played football on after I played rugby. So when I was younger, play rugby in the morning on a Sunday, then finish that match, and I go on and play football for my football team as well.
right,
So
okay. Full
yeah,
of it, bounce
yeah,
back ability, then, wasn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. So yeah, I've always been into all sports really. Loved it, loved it.
What would it have been around? Like, because you said that Winstanley was on like the outside of Wigan, is it, mate? So would it have been Wigan Athletic, United, City? What
No,
was the
no,
fan base like in that?
I've got a season ticket for United, so I've always
Right.
been a massive United fan.
Yeah.
But so I've always supported them. But I just played for a local team called Highfield, which is right next to Winstanley.
Right.
I just with that, just with them really. But like, because like I said, because school didn't play rugby, a lot of my school friends played football, so it was like going playing with them. But I got introduced to St Pat's when I was 6. From it, as soon as I was allowed to play, my granddad took me down straight away. So then I had my friends from
See
rugby.
there probably. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's good, good.
Quite a nice thing that though, mate, and it having like so as people grow up, which like our generation, a bit older and all, you'll have your schoolmates, but usually you'd have your rugby mates as
Yeah,
well as, or like
yeah,
you'll have football, rugby, and schoolmates. So
yeah. Well, that was
is
it,
it quite
really. Yeah,
easy to dip in and out?
yeah. Well, to be honest, when I was with schoolmates, I don't really speak to any of them now. It, the school's not a rough school or anything like that, but there's a couple of rough areas around it, around Orkcliffe.
Yeah,
And then when I was about 15-ish, you start going out with your mates on a Friday night and stuff, and just ended up. So then I had my rugby mates from St Pat's, but I was always with my schoolmates, and then we was going out and just getting into not trouble, but just messing about on the streets and stuff. And then rugby,
yeah,
I was always doing well at rugby, but just sort of not bothered. And then my dad ended up sitting me down and was like, "You need to sort what you're doing out. If you're gonna go and mess about on the streets, then go and do that." So after that, I ended up really distancing myself from my mates from school, and I just started hanging around with all my mates who I played rugby with, and then now all my mates still now really. So it's more my dad that made me stop messing
give
about
you the
really.
wobble, mate, did he?
Yeah, just one of them. Do you
So,
know
mate, we'll
what
go back.
happens when
Yeah,
you get into
it's
school? You
like
can,
a flashback hindsight thing, probably, mate, in it,
yeah,
which we obviously think we know better at that age, don't we? And
yeah, of course,
you're probably sneaking round with
yeah,
Carlsberg Export or
yeah,
Smirnoff Ice back in the day or something, wasn't it?
yeah. That's it.
Uh, yeah, it's whether you decide to go that way or that way, and
Yeah, well, that's what it was
thankfully,
really.
yeah,
my dad just literally, I think he could see, and I think my coach at St Pat's, a guy called Gary Owen, he coached us all the way through. I think he had a word with my dad and just said, "Go and sit him down," and he did. And then I'm glad he did, because it was obviously the best thing he ever did, really.
And he obviously seen something in your stuff, didn't he,
Yeah,
to warrant probing at you a bit, right?
yeah, that's
So
it.
if they didn't think out of you, they did just let you do it, wouldn't they?
That's
And
it. Yeah, yeah.
the rest is
We
history,
had we
sort of
had a
thing.
really good team as well at St Pat. So yeah,
So, so when you're in that environment from you said six there, mate, didn't you?
yeah,
Is it? Do you remember much about the early days? Was it? Did you play half a pitch? Was it
yeah, yeah.
tackle straight away and stuff? What
I'm
was
pretty
it?
sure. Yeah, I remember. I remember it being. So I remember the first game we played against Rose Bridge. So obviously that's really local rivals to Pats. That was my
Yeah.
first game. Um, I scored a hat trick on my first game, but I think it was because I was more scared of getting tackled and running away from people. I was always.
Were
I've always been fast from when I was being young.
yeah.
So
Right.
yeah, yeah. So you start off, you have a pitch, and then it's like that thing where you've got a coach behind you. You've all got a number.
Yeah.
You shout your number out, then it's your turn to run and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just stuff like then. Once you progress up, and then I played a year above myself for a little bit, but then just dropped back down to my own age group.
So when you did do that, do you know the reasoning behind that, and how did you find it, or was it just second nature
Ah,
because you're still
but
doing something you love, aren't you?
what's that? With moving up
When you
in,
went up the age group.
I think it was just because
Yeah.
when they're new, I think we didn't have enough players and stuff like that, so they just moved us up and played at that age, really. But didn't think anything different of it because it was just I was so new to it. I thought I was just playing against people at my own age. Because to be honest, as well, when I was younger, I was always one of the taller ones and stuff in my class, and so because I'm September, I could have been in that
Yeah.
year anyway. Do you know? I mean, my birthday is the 3rd of September, so I could have been in that age group
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
So never really made much of a difference, really.
No, I was gonna. It's only probably well into when you've gone back to your own age, you sort of notice. But if you were one of the bigger kids at that age
That's
anyway,
it.
mate, you were going to come across that anyway, weren't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So did when year five and six come now, mate, was town team an option for you, considering school was mainly a football school?
Well, yeah. So, I played for Wigan Town team, but it was basically I got selected through. It's normally a school thing in it, but it was more
Yeah.
through St Pat's because my school didn't play rugby. Um,
Yeah.
like I said, just football. So they came watching through St Pat's and stuff, and I just got selected through that.
Right, mate. Do you remember that process much?
I can't remember how it happened really. Um, I think it must have just been through my coach because, like I said, my amateur coach coached me from being that age group all the way up till 16s when we all left.
Yeah.
Like, my team at 16s, a lot of us got signed, so not didn't carry on to 18s.
Yeah.
So I think it was just basically people coming watching we play for my amateur team, St Pat's, and just got picked through that and selected through that, and then can't remember really who we played against. I know we played against Saints. Actually, we drew against Saints. They had a good team. They had like Johnny Lomax and Leigh and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Players like them.
Right. Yeah, because you tend to play like your local, don't you? So you might have played
Yeah,
Salford, might you? You might have
yeah.
played Oldham,
Warrington, maybe.
Warrington. You might
Yeah,
have played us, maybe. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, trying to.
I
We
can't.
didn't really go past Oldham, did we? Really
No, I can't remember much
down
about
this end.
that town team. More because
Yeah.
it was a bit younger in primary school. It's more when you get into the service
Into now.
areas and stuff. That's more
Yeah.
what you remember
You're at
from.
the serious age there, don't you,
Yeah,
Steph? It's
yeah,
like it's not just taking part anymore
yeah,
at 13,
yeah.
14, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
All right, mate. So how was your transition into high school? What type of kid was you at school? And did you find it more social or was you into school?
No, I wasn't really into school. No, I enjoy school. I wasn't.
Yeah.
I always went and enjoyed it. Never really got in any trouble at school. Um, like I said, maybe the cup when I was a bit older, not getting into trouble, but just usual 15, 14, 15-year-old attitude and stuff like that, you know, when you're growing up. But yeah, it was good. I like school. Like I say, I went to Orkney Hall. It's just about, it was like 10 minutes away from where I lived. Just walked down it. Yeah, it was good, and it's just like I said, because they didn't play rugby, we had a really good football team. So
Yeah,
I was more. I loved sports in school. Played everything that I could get, every team that I could play for. I tried to play for. So I loved all sports. So, and then academic wise, I've never really been that good. But
yeah. So it
just
was a bit
tried to get.
secondary.
Yeah, it was just
Yeah,
secondary for me.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
you actually go to school, don't you? So yeah,
That's it. So when you're talking, so obviously off recording, mate, we spoke football, didn't we? We spoke you're good at golf,
yeah,
like literally you're devout. So without knowing it, mate, because you are so versatile,
yeah,
and it's like on previous podcasts have said, there's a lot to be said about pace. But if you don't know what you're doing with your pace,
yeah, yeah,
it's useless, isn't it? So
yeah. Of course.
did you pick a load of attributes up from other sports, and it's ended up becoming
I think so,
Steph
mate.
Marsh, the rugby player?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think they all
Yeah,
combine, don't they? So like
yeah,
football, where I played, because I was played in midfield, like you've got to like
right,
read the game in football and like the vision and stuff, then that can translate into rugby and all stuff like that, can it? But then,
yeah.
like I said, with speed, it's like knowing how to use it. And
I'm
so,
one
like
too,
some
isn't
people
it?
just catch it and run it, but then
Yeah,
I thought I was always quite good footwork and stuff like that. But that can come from football as well.
yeah.
Um,
And then visually, Steph, is does game plan come through the middle of the pitch, really, don't it?
yeah,
In both sports that you've been really
yeah,
good
yeah,
at.
yeah.
So how does the vision differentiate from both sports? Because you have got to still find space, haven't you?
Yeah, I think in obviously in football, because you can pass it anywhere, can't you? So it's just getting used to this. When you've not got the ball in football, you're looking all the time, especially if you're playing in that one of the positions in the middle where you can,
Yeah,
where the space is and where he's open or you got to pass to. But then it's the same in rugby. Like when you get up to professional and stuff, like you're counting numbers of where people are and looking which side to go and where the space is to go in there. So you just pick things up like through both stuff like that. And then I think like with the football as well, I kicked a little bit when I was playing. I was never first choice kicker anywhere I played, but anywhere if their first choice kicker was injured, I always tended to get the job. So that comes through from football. I think that helps with, like I said, playing golf now. Like just the same sort of thing, isn't it? Just picking different
yeah.
things.
And it's like a bit. Sorry, mate, to interrupt. You're a bit like you swing with a club. When you're goal kicking, you'll know what when
Yeah,
you've
but
hit it well.
it's like hand-eye sort of coordination in it with stuff as well.
Yeah,
So I think that's why. So I know Danny Tickle was obviously a goal kicker, and he's a really good golfer. So I
all
played
right,
with
okay.
him a few times. That's one of the reasons why I thought about it, because it must translate slightly over. Really, I'd say
It's got
so.
to be, mate. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
got to. Yeah. But it's like I said, it's I suppose more with golf. I'm not great and I don't play a lot of golf, but would it be the sound that you hear when you know you've hit it well? But
yeah,
like because I've kicked a little bit myself, mate, it's you know when you've hit it well, don't you? You
you do.
don't need the
You
sound. It's just that
strike it.
feeling, it.
You know, when you strike it,
Yeah,
well done. You're like, obviously you're ready
yeah, yeah,
and you hit it, and you know that's got a good chance it's going over and stuff like that. It's the same. That's the same
yeah,
with golf. You strike it, and you know that you hit it well. It's got a good chance. So
yeah.
yeah,
And when you're kicking on your field with your mates to usually full stadiums, mate, do you still enjoy it?
yeah.
Even though you can hear some little scroat giving you crap.
You know what? I never really, I never really heard anything. It never really affected my kicking. That just with, I don't know why. 'Cause you practice and stuff, but I don't know if it was because I knew I was never the first choice kicker. So there's not as much pressure to get him because I'm second choice.
Yeah,
So, but I don't know. But it never really affected me that much, really. But yeah, I
yeah.
suppose I used to hate the what sign is it? The can't remember what the stand is. The opposite one to where all the singing is, where all the family sit at witness. There's like
Oh,
a
yeah, yeah. You
little
on
hill,
the
isn't there,
south
that you've got
stand
to
where the
run up.
tunnel is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a little hill there you've got to run up if you kick from touchline. I used to hate kicking from there. But yeah,
yeah. You just give it anyone that would have it. Oh,
yeah,
like I'll get back.
yeah,
No, and really, mate, it's something I was going to prompt you with beforehand, but I forgot to. I know rugby union's not massive in Wigan, but
Yeah.
the team's pretty solid and consistent in the level they play at. Has it never been an option for you, even at professional level? Have you never had chats about it?
When I was first coming through at Wigan, there was always like sale. It was never really anything offered or anything like that. But there's always like, would you go and play?
Yeah,
And to be honest, when I left, like I said, growing up, all my family was massive Wigan fans. And
yeah,
then coming through, I played for Wigan, and I was a massive Wigan fan. So, and when you sign it, it was always going to be Wigan if there was going to be
yeah,
in for me. So yeah, I would have. I wish looking back now, I would have gone and tried it because I do think it could have suited my game really.
yeah,
'Cause I can kick
yeah,
and
yeah. No, and you can
catch,
see things
catch and
happening and
see
do it.
things,
Yeah,
and yeah, and it's a bit
yeah,
different in it to playing. It's like
yeah,
I ended up on the wing, didn't it, at the end, and sometimes it's like
yeah,
another prop, taking the carries in and stuff like that. But
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not
No,
really.
that's it. Yeah,
It it's not wasn't really my game. Cause you get a bit more open space in rugby unions or with running. And that was
yeah,
my strength. So I do wish that I probably would have gone and tried. To be honest, a guy who trained in the gym. He coaches at our rugby union now, and he literally messaged me last night
right.
saying, would you fancy a game for us?"
Oh,
But
uncanny.
I've never played rugby
Yeah,
union before, so
no.
no, no, don't know.
I don't know. The principles are the same, Steph. It's
Yeah,
just like it. You'll find it a bit. You've got to be You've got to be very patient, mate.
yeah,
Like especially, I imagine they'd look at playing you like outside centre, maybe.
yeah,
So defensively, emphasis sort of you can be left exposed, mate, and it'll never. It might not even be your issue.
yeah.
But
But
when you've got a 3-on-1, mate, you're gonna look daft
yeah,
at you
that's it.
most of the time.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's like I suppose you get a bit more license to go in and look for stuff to make stuff happen.
yeah, yeah.
I
That's what
do
I was.
agree with you, though. It'd suit you.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, just looking back now, but it never came about. So
No,
no.
right. Because I know Wigan last year, I think Tommy and Lockers played
Yeah,
12 and 13,
they
and
played,
it went
didn't they?
off, didn't it? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it
A
went
lot of people
viral and that.
watching them, didn't they? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, our second team were playing there against the seconds, I think it was. I think half of them rather than watch.
All
Like you
right.
see him in the warm up, and there was like three lads doing the warm up, and the others were like looking for them stars.
Yeah,
Because like usually, mate, a lot of like our areas,
yeah.
you haven't grew up playing rugby union.
No.
You've grew up playing rugby league, haven't you? And one way or another, you'd end up doing a bit of both. But
Yeah,
they're like modern greats, aren't they? So you're
yeah,
obviously gonna look
yeah.
and think, I wouldn't mind having a
I've never
watch of this.
got.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
no, I'm shocked no one had a chat with you about union, mate. Because like I said, I agree with you. I think you'd have a. I think you'd
Yeah,
enjoy it as well once you'd probably understood it a bit more.
yeah.
No
That's it.
offense,
Yeah,
it's
I
like
do.
little intricacies.
Yeah, I don't really watch. Well, I watched obviously. I watched the game the other day, England Rugby Union. I
Yeah,
watched that. So Owen Farrell played in my St Pat's team.
right.
He's a year below me, but he played um up a year up. So from being probably about 10, and then when his dad moved to Saracens, he moved down there with them. So yeah,
Right. Yeah, I get the crap it gets, because of the kicking and stuff.
yeah,
But it's like I don't. We'll understand it, and viewers and listeners, because they'll only listen and watch really if they're into rugby, I imagine. But the
yeah,
pressure, if you can keep the pressure on, Steph, you do it, don't you? A good
yeah.
kick can
Those,
contain that,
yeah.
but 5 out of 10 kicks aren't good kicks, so you
Good,
end up
yeah.
just watching it, like
That's it,
you know what
innit?
I mean. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I
No,
imagine if you're not
I did.
patient,
I quite enjoyed it the game the other day.
yeah,
Obviously, I just some of the things I don't get why there was a red card and stuff, but it just is what it is, isn't it? The rules and stuff. But
yeah,
I'll watch international in England and stuff like that. Like I said before, I'll watch all sports, mate. So
yeah.
yeah, get it on
If
the other
it's on,
day.
it's on the telly
Yeah,
for you.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. No, that's fair enough. And what viewers and listeners might not know, mate, is you were like a pivot player a bit younger. You play a bit of fullback, mate, a bit in the
yeah. So
standoff horse from our position, wouldn't you?
yeah, so I'm coming through. I can't remember what age it was. It must have been under. 11s or 12s. So when you start getting into your positions properly, so you don't have them at first, do you? It's just sort of like
No.
getting into it. But when you start to go to 13 aside, I don't think we had a standoff really. So I was like, well, I'll play there. So I played there for a year, and then I think we got another lad in. He was a footballer, but he played rugby at the deanery at school in Wigan. And our coach, his son went to the deanery, so obviously my school didn't have a rugby team then, so he like got him to come and play rugby. So then when he came, I moved to fullback. Then from being 12, I played fullback all my amateur career. But
How did you see the game different from like standoff to fullback, mate?
just obviously at fullback, you can see a lot more. In defensively, obviously the behind you can see everything, but then got more of a license at fullback to roam around and like chip in where you can and see things. And that, like I said, just there, it just suited me because my thing was running and finding space and stuff like that, so I could just go and reach for the space, and then if I was fast, I could normally like get through into them gaps and stuff. So the difference, obviously, it's just a bit more. So you're a bit more playmaker when you playing standoff, aren't you? So you've got to organise a bit more. Whereas fullback, I was just more of a free rein to do what I wanted.
And you got that license to play like what we'd say, play what you see, sort of thing.
Yeah. But then, like that we was on talking about before, every time. So I played fullback, but then in any like service area, Wigan and Leigh service area, I always played centre. So I think we was quite short centres in our age group in our team, and we had a couple of who could play fullback. Fullback was my best position, but I always ended up playing centre when I got into them. But then that's where I ended up playing when I signed it at Wigan.
Club rugby, you'd be playing fullback,
yeah.
rep stuff. You'd be flipping mainly at centre, but you could
mainly
put you there now and then.
Yeah.
And is that difficult as a kid, mate? Because the roles are very different, aren't they?
Yeah. To be honest, it didn't really. I would have preferred to play at fullback for them. Obviously, I was just used to playing there all the time. Just when you're playing centre, you've got a bit more responsibility defensively and stuff, haven't you? So, and you're not getting as much of the ball if you're going one way all the time or the other way and stuff. With fullback kicking to you and stuff, you get in open space. But it was just I was always one of them. Wherever the coach told me to play, I'd play and do what I can do there. Yeah, just that's all I was bothered about really. Like my main thing, I just wanted to win at everything. So coach told me to do that, and that was better for the team. I'll just play there. So yeah.
Oh, the ultimate team man, basically, mate. Just buy into a winning culture, innit? Even as a kid, that's all we want to do. Yeah. Right. So when did the scholarship come round? Was you always just going to go to Wigan, or was there other offers?
But yeah, I think no, I think there probably was offers there because I was quite good when I was an amateur.
You were quite good as a pro as well, you know.
Yeah, to be honest, sometimes looking back, you think, oh, I could have done stuff a bit better, but at amateur, I was always up there in my age group. So yeah, as soon as Wigan came, I was always straight to going to Wigan. I literally, as soon as the age where you could go into scholarship, I was there straight away.
Right, and what was that like when you got that first bag of stash, mate?
Oh, it's good, yeah. Good.
I wouldn't know, I didn't get
it. No, he's good. No. Just like you've got Wigan stuff that you're wearing, and that is good. And then,
was it the Patrick stuff when you went?
What would it have been? Yeah, I think I think it was Patrick. Yeah, I don't know if we had Adidas first.
I was going to say you probably, if you didn't get the Adidas stuff, you were only like a year off, weren't you? You were literally like the next coming through.
Yeah, then you was just like I said, growing up, because I was just Wigan mad, because that's what I was brought up with my dad. It was you're just glad to be there. you know, like playing for and train. We never had games when I was in the scholarship. It was just training. So
Was it?
yeah, we never played as a scholarship because it's training scholarship. Then it was Wigan and Leigh service area, so it was like a bit different. So I think it was a Tuesday night. We just trained down in the soccer dome in Wigan with the scholarship. This age, I think you had my age and a year below. But yeah, it was always good.
Was the scholarship training like a level up from service area stuff?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, the service area was similar, but it was obviously a step up from your amateur stuff. But
yeah,
my coach helped with the scholarship as well, so
right.
we got a bit of everything, which was good at St Pat's. But you're just focusing more on you're on like proper skill stuff and game plans and more like technique stuff, which is like solely focused on what you need to do and because it's Wigan, it's how they want you to play in it. So it's instilled like through from you being 12. That's why they get a lot of people coming through in it and signing players because it's just instilled through all that scholarship stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
You can
it's
be
good.
about rock solid, mate, and it's
Yeah,
really consistent,
yeah,
produces
it
like
is.
big numbers.
It is.
So when you're going through, it's like I imagine that's like a small insight into professionalism for a young man in it, because you're becoming a man, aren't you, mate? You're going
Yeah,
through school, you're playing
yeah.
not quite adult rugby, but like we said off camera, there's some teams there that we don't remember probably from 7 to 12, but come
Yeah,
back that summer like absolute brutes, didn't they, with
yeah,
mortgages and everything, tattoos,
yeah,
smoking,
I
beards,
know.
and that.
Yeah.
And like that's when you realise it's not about just being the biggest kid anymore, is it?
No, it's not. It's not. You need to be able to play, don't you, and see
Yeah.
stuff and have good skills and stuff. But I think because growing up, we had scholarships, and then we always had you know, what was they called? Regional camps came into it. So there's regional
Oh yeah.
camps, and then if you got selected to that, it was a thing in Blackpool. I think we used to go us. You have a couple of
Right.
days there with all the lads in the best lads in the northwest, and then you
Yeah.
split you up into two teams, like I think two or three colours. So you'd have a team of so many, and then from that you'd play games at the end of that couple of days, and then you go. You can get selected for Lancashire then, and you played
And did you do
Lancashire.
that step?
Yeah, I did that. So
Yeah.
did that on each time you could. I think it was 3 years. It must have been from 14s,
Right.
15s, 16s.
Oh, was that the Puma gear?
Yeah, all that Puma gear.
Yeah,
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 so
yeah.
there was like stuff like
Yeah,
that.
all that stuff you as a kid there, you get.
Yeah, I had all them. So then after then you play for Lancashire and you played against Yorkshire and Cumbria and I think
Yeah.
Wales at a
Right.
day, and then you got picked for national camp then, and then through
Right. And it
to
is
that's
again.
the
Did you reach all the height stuff? Did you?
yeah. And then I played then
Yeah.
from national camp you get selected play represent England schools.
Right.
Yes, played for
So
them. Play against France. Played against Wales in 1 year. Then the next time we did it was 16s. I think we played against France.
right, and so when you're going into it, a new environment as a kid, mate, how was you? Because each step now the level is getting better and better, but
Yeah,
you're already getting coached really well, aren't you? So it
yeah.
probably isn't
I
much
was all,
difference to your only the faces.
I was all, when I was a bit younger, like the 14s ones, I was always a bit more shy and I kept myself a bit more to myself and probably
Yeah.
didn't have as much confidence as I should have done really in when I got into that national camp where it's like
Yeah.
literally the lads who were getting selected for England. And
Yeah.
then and the under 16s one, I changed a little bit and was more confident and stuff. So I felt like I did a lot better in that time that I went through it all. In the
Yeah.
16s ones, I got injured in the regional camp, so I couldn't take part in regional camp. So I was gutted because I thought that your chance is gone again for representing England
Yeah.
under 16s, but thankfully they picked me anyway.
Okay.
So they let me go through with it doing the camp, and then I was all right after
Yeah.
that. I got through everything else.
Well, probably somewhat switched, then you like a little bit of credit in the bank from previous camps and that,
Yeah, yeah,
and then you've maybe something in your thought like they obviously think I'm good enough
Yeah,
when you
well, that
thought
was it.
you'd
And you
lost your
get
chance now
confidence in
to
that, don't
lose.
you? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. Like you
yeah,
obviously, you feel bad for obviously someone's missed out there who's done the camp, but
yeah.
you just got to once you got your chance, you just got to take it, haven't you?
That's it. And it's life, mate. What happens when if they get to academy level and don't get full-time contract
Exactly. Yeah, yeah,
in it? It's like livelihoods and stuff.
yeah,
So when you're in that sort of elite level, which you are for your age group, right through, really, mate, aren't you? You don't
yeah,
really know
yeah,
any different. Your standard of rugby hasn't dropped at all.
yeah, yeah.
Did a little bit of you take it for granted that something was going to happen then? Because you've not played a bad standard one bit,
Yeah,
really, have you?
yeah. Like I said, my amateur team was always really good. We
Yeah,
had we, we won the national cup under 14s, under 16s. I think it was the first St Pat's team to do that. Um,
right.
and then we played Blackbrook both games. I think we won the first one at under 14s in Golden Point. And we battled in the second one at under 16s. And then, to be honest, yeah, like when it got to doing exams in year 11 at school, in my head, I was going, I'd signed really before I'd finished, done my exams. So I didn't bother with them properly, didn't do any revision. I was always thought I was just going to play. It's bad,
Focus.
really, but I wish I would have tried a bit harder. But in my head, I was always just going to be a rugby player. That's all I ever
Yeah,
wanted to do. And like you said, growing up, you were always in them teams at your age group, so you think it's going to come. So luckily for me, it did. But looking back, it could have been a bit of a big risk.
yeah. And it's like we say, hindsight's a wonderful thing, mate. But if you cut your family open, it just bleeds Wigan.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
your focus is going to be
yeah.
playing for Wigan, innit?
That's what it is. Yeah, yeah,
So when them talks come round, mate, so leaving school was solely like it would have been junior academy for us, wouldn't it? So you had junior academy and then
So it was
like
straight in.
reserves.
Mine was under 18s and 21s when I first
Yeah,
came out. So you're leaving
right.
at 16, but
Yeah,
so at my age group, I had a few offers to go. I think Warrington offered me, Wigan offered me, um, Salford, a couple of others, I think. But like I said, it was always just going to be Wigan. But there was me, a lad called Gareth Mellon, who played for all, and then Joe Mellor signed in the academy at Wigan. Um, Yeah, and it was just from there. I just couldn't wait to get started then because we went straight into the 18s team. I remember
all right. No, no lighter in.
I played quite as soon as I'd left school. I was straight pretty much straight into that team then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was good.
So is the step? How's the step from like national standard to academy then?
And like I found that a really big.
Did you?
But it's a lot different, yeah. Because
Yeah,
obviously, because I was 16, you've got two age groups above you that you can play, and at that age, people can grow big
yeah,
and quick, can't they?
yeah,
But
yeah.
I think I fitted in straight away, and I kept playing each week. And obviously, Shaun Wane was the coach of the 18s then,
Right.
so it's
Imagine that was a bit brutal, wasn't it?
yeah, but it's just
Yeah,
it's a different level because obviously Wigan's really good. Like from the first team all the way into the academy, they have everything the same. They want to play the
yeah,
same, and so the training's
yeah,
hard, and it just stepped up. The training and the physicality stepped up, but the skill level and that everything stepped up. But because you're training that all the time, and they expect you to do it at training, you
yeah,
just you just adjust to it pretty much straight away.
yeah,
Well, I did anyway. I think could take
yeah,
people a bit longer, but like I say, I always wanted to push myself in training and stuff. Um, I was always pretty strong. Wasn't always the biggest, but I was always strong and fast, really. So I could get away with size, being with a couple of people being players being older than you. That top age of
that's it.
18 when I'm 16, so I could get away with it really. So
Yeah,
yeah, I loved my time in the academy at Wigan. It's one of my
yeah,
favourite things of my whole career.
yeah. I was going to say because it's still like a big element of it is still playing because you're for fun in it.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's when you like you was on about that. Obviously, Shaun Wane and
yeah,
Jerry. You mentioned Stu Howarth, and then Liam Farrell played with Faz. And I've literally just been out for breakfast with Faz. So they're like the mates that you make, and who I'm still mates with now. Like in them
never in it though. Yeah,
academy days, it helps as well. Like when we're playing in the academy for Wigan, you win every week, near enough. So it's always a good
yeah.
positive thing. And yeah, I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
It's not that. It's like everyone says they train hard pre-season.
Yeah,
Probably some of the hardest stuff you'll get, especially at the elite clubs.
yeah.
But do you know when like you're in them games where, no offense, like when you're sometimes at centre and that, you can't influence the arm wrestle, can you?
No,
You can
no,
do
no.
them speed sets from your own 20
Yeah,
and that, where you're
yeah.
coming in for a scoop.
That's
But
it.
when you have gone through what you go through every summer,
Yeah.
well, winter, isn't it
Winter.
now, pre-season,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah, and when you're under your sticks or them where your forwards are struggling to get back and that,
yeah,
that's when it'll count, not
yeah,
when
yeah.
you're
It
a
is. It is.
60-0 up in it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. No, it's yeah. Like I said, we had we trained hard, and then but we won most of the games, like I said, and then it was just like the culture that we had, like with what
yeah,
Wayne said. He moved up to the 21s and reserves after I think it was the first year, but then
right,
me and Joe Mellor moved up
yeah,
with him, sort of basically. So
with
we
him,
was all
yeah,
straight into that 21s team. I
right,
think we only lost like 2 games in 3 years or something like that. But they used to have stuff like every payday when the lads got paid, it would be
yeah,
a, a team do on the Saturday after everyone had to come. Different things each
yeah,
time. I remember one we'd do pub crawls, and then when he had a barbecue at his house for all the team and stuff like that. But it was just brings everyone together, and that's why that's part of a thing which I enjoyed more about rugby than I probably should have done was
yeah.
like the team element,
Social
the
side,
social
yeah,
side of
yeah,
it. Yeah, it's just
yeah,
the memories you make from that, and then you make it, but it brings you together as a team as well, doesn't it? And that's why we had a lot of
yeah. It
support
does.
there, I think, as well.
Yeah, I imagine it helps with like the foreign imports as well, mate.
Yeah,
When you
yeah,
can make it that family environment and
yeah,
partners
yeah,
checking on partners and kids mix,
yeah,
it makes that transition easy, but it makes
it's
you
good.
better on the field because the family's happy.
Yeah, yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah,
No, yeah, it's good. Like witness, I was at witness 9 years, can't remember now, but like every Aussie or foreign imports there, everyone got on really well. It was brilliant at witness. That was like
right.
one of
So
best things about playing for him.
yeah, off the field it was right,
Brilliant.
really.
Yeah,
Even
it
though
was
you just went through some
ev-
turmoil, didn't you? Like,
yeah,
yeah,
everyone got on. Like no one, there was never any arguments or cliques or anything like that. It was just
yeah,
everyone just got on with everyone.
right.
It was really good.
I was gonna say because do you know when you the environment you've been in there at Wigan where you said like it was just right, like
Yeah,
the bonding and the payday like
yeah,
get-togethers, whether it
yeah,
was
yeah,
like charity shop calls or
yeah.
fancy
Stuff
dress
like
or
that. We did
whatever.
all that. Yeah.
Yeah, was it easy replicated, or can some teams just not do it like you've had it before? Because I
Well,
suppose it
so
can be a blessing, but it can be something that
yeah.
held you back as well. Because when
That
you've
stuff.
been at that level, not everyone can do that, can they?
No, well, that stuff that we did with that was in the academy still. So when I moved
Right.
up into the first team at Wigan, it wasn't as much as stuff like that. It was more. They still go on dues and stuff, but not as to the extreme as every week.
Yeah.
But Wigan's still the same. Like the group was really good, like the young lads and everyone else. But it's obviously Wigan. The difference between obviously Wigan and when I went to Widnes was it just slightly more professional at Wigan. But the two, like you said, the stuff of getting everyone together at Widnes was brilliant. I like one of the things that got me when I signed, because I went on loan first, and then when I signed for him, that was one of the things when I was there, like how together the team was. Even though that first year when I was on loan at Widnes, we really won two games or something, but you could tell that I loved being there. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So when you're winning games in academies, mate, I imagine you've won grand finals and that, haven't you, as reserve and that.
yeah.
It's
I
not
think
just a normal week, I imagine, is it? It's got to be
no,
different, mate. And you can say that now, can't you?
yeah, no, yeah. I think I won five of the in the academy. I won
Yeah.
4 or 5. I know we won 3 in a row. Um,
Right.
no, it was class. That like I said,
Nature
there was
to
something.
you as well, wasn't it?
What's that?
Second nature to you as well, because like you
That's
said, you
it.
didn't
Yeah.
really lose, did you?
No, we didn't really lose, but we Saints had a good team as well, so it was always us and
Yeah.
Saints really. And I think we played Warrington in the last couple of ones that I played in. But yeah, I think we played one of the grand finals. We was never allowed to play. I think if you got to the grand final first, that team you played at the stadium because obviously Wigan Academy we played at Oral. But because we
Right.
got to the grand final, and then Wigan would never let you play at the stadium for the academy, but for this year that they did, I can't remember what year it was.
Okay.
It must have been 2017, maybe, or 2000, not 2007. I mean, not 17.
Right.
And we ended up playing at the stadium. But the team we had me, Joe Miller, Faz, Leigh Mossert, Chris Tucson. We had loads of us playing. And we beat Saints that day.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, it was good. I loved it, all the grand finals and stuff. Still got all my medals at my granddad's house. So
Don't
yeah.
blame me, I'd have everything, mate.
Do you know what? I think we lost the first one that I played in the 18. Saints beat us. That's the only one I
Yeah.
lost.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say does does there become a day when you walk out and not being like big headed out because you're in that environment where you're absolutely thriving, but
Yeah.
where you just expect to win and it was it hard to get up for games sometimes, Steph?
No, they wouldn't let you.
No.
They would like the
Right.
coaches and way that would not let you, especially you playing Saints. Doesn't
Yeah, I
matter.
imagine them ones are easy. If you can't get up
Yeah.
for them,
So,
you're in the
yeah,
wrong game, aren't you?
I think yeah, and just stuff that even like through the league, you're playing every week and you're winning every week, but you wasn't allowed to like let standard drop. Like you probably see that at Wigan now, like they're always talking about standards, but they just wouldn't let you. And if you was dropping your standards, you wouldn't play. So
Yeah.
basically, you've got to keep them up all the time.
Right. And when did the first team call come for your debut, mate? How was it?
So yeah, so what year would it have been? So I think it was 2010. I made my debut. Um,
Yeah.
I was I got asked to train with him the year before, so a few days I'd go up and just train with the first team. So I did that, and then once you're old enough to sign for the first team, then I think I was
Yeah.
17 when I signed. Um,
Okay.
17, 18, I just went into that first team so that you're professional contract then. So you're in. That was when Michael Maguire came in to Wigan.
Okay.
So yeah, he was hard because he came
Yeah.
in pre-season and he changed everything and he absolutely flogged us in pre-season. We had to go and work. So the first thing I did, I signed in. I think there was a lot of us signed first team. There's about 10 of us. And what they made us do for the first 2 weeks of pre-season, all the young lads who just signed for 2 weeks, we'd have to train at 5 in the morning, and then they got us all a job. So I was working luckily on a golf course, Wigan Golf Club, going, but it was digging holes. I was greenkeeper, so just
Yeah.
then we'd work all day and then go and train at night. So I think you
Yeah.
just
So
wanted us
two
to,
sessions and graft.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I think it was just to get you. This is what you have to do.
Yeah.
You don't stick and you don't try, you don't train, you don't put everything into it. So it's just a bit of a
Yeah.
good experience for us all. And yeah, that was the pre-season. Then did well in pre-season, played a couple of the games, and then I was just doing well in training. I was playing well for the reserves, and then I started getting into that where I was 18th man quite a bit. You know, just close to playing, but
Yeah,
the team were doing well because that was the year that we won the grand final
yeah.
when Ray first came in, and then I think
Because he
I was
changed the game, Maguire, didn't he? He brought that wrestling and that, didn't he?
yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah,
It was Magic Weekend at Murrayfield, so
yeah.
we were playing Huddersfield on the Sunday, and it was team run, and I was 18th man. And Martin Gleeson pulled his calf in training, and team run at Orrell was travelling up on the Saturday. So this was the Saturday morning. Yeah, and he just so I went. I didn't know then, so we was training. Police went in to the physio, and I just stepped in to finish the session off. Anyway, as we're walking off, Michael Maguire just pulled me over and just said, "Yeah, you're playing tomorrow, making your debut." So literally,
He knows.
yeah. So it just because it was Scotland though in Murrayfield, and obviously all your family want to come and watch. So Chris Radlinski was more of like he wasn't doing the CEO stuff and all stuff that he does now. He was around the team, and he came up to me and he just said, "Don't worry about anything. You just concentrate on you playing. Tell me how many tickets you need. Tell me what you want, and I'll sort that out for you." And he did.
I
So
like that. It's classy touch, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, it was good. And
Yeah.
I literally got off training, run my dad, run my mum, everyone. I had loads of people come. I think ended up with about 15
Class.
tickets at Magic Weekend. I drove up to Scotland.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and then I think it was just good because we drove up and then had a full night with everyone there because it was in a team hotel because we were there. And then, yeah, thankfully we won the game. But I was nervous because it was like Magic Weekend, quite a big thing, making your debut at
Nice.
Murrayfield. But yeah, we won and we beat Huddersfield. And then, my, weirdly enough, my first team games was all against Huddersfield. So Gleeson was all right the week after, so he went straight back in. I did all right my first game. He said I did well. He was happy with how I played and stuff, but obviously Martin Gleeson, so he went straight back in.
Gleeson, yeah.
And then a couple of weeks later, I think he got injured again, and it turned out we were playing Huddersfield in the league, so I played then. And then back end of the year, he had a hernia operation. So it was just leading into the playoffs. So I played a couple in a row then, leading into the playoffs. And then he came back. And then obviously I was 18th man in the grand final that year. And so I just missed out on playing. But yeah, my first year it was good. Enjoyed
Yeah.
it, loved getting that experience and feeling it. But it was just like more you make you like I said before, my dad was a massive Wigan fan and just all my family are Wigan fans. So just going playing for Wigan, even if he only played one game, I would have been happy, just to represent him and going up.
Imagine, mate, yeah.
Like my granddad's in his house, he's got a wall, and he's like, it's like I'm one of five. He's got six grandkids, but I'm like, he's got like a shrine to me on his wall.
Class.
Where, like I've got all my kits that framed and like my debut on and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and he's got them and pictures and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just good to see, there is stuff like that. But
No,
yeah,
that's
that was
exactly
how it
what
was.
you do it for.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. So a couple of things, mate. So how is it when you sat down in a room full of like a lot of them would have been idols of yours?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
two, is the pace of the game that fast you don't get a chance to get caught up in it. It just happens.
I expect it was when you first get into it. I
Yeah.
remember, I think I remember that my debut game. I'm like, we're playing, kicks off, and next thing I look up, it's 1 minute to half time, and I'm like, oh, is it 1 minute to half time?
Where's it gone?
Yeah, where's
Yeah.
it gone? But then, like you say, I was never one me really for speaking or like I always respected them players a lot.
Yeah.
So I'd say something if I felt it, but I usually wanted to learn off them more than anything. So I'd more listen than speak up. But yeah, every team I've played in, like even when I've been one of the young ones, all the older, more senior players have been brilliant with younger kids like Shaun Wane and um, like George Kermont was really good for me. Do you
I
know
was going
when
to
I was
say you've been quite lucky as well because positional wise, Wigan have been blessed, and you've been able to be like marshalled by some of the world's best
That's
centres and
it.
that, haven't you? And yeah,
Yeah, that's it. So George Kermit was really good because I was playing centre, so he helped me a lot. And then obviously you've got Martin Gleeson. And he's coaching now, Gleeson, and I always thought when I was first in like the meeting rooms that first year when I was at Wigan, you could tell he just sees the game like so much better than
different.
some
Yeah,
people and different. Yeah, he can see everything. He was really good. And then
yeah,
all them senior players was always good and they helped me a lot.
right. And do you think being that 18th man, mate, and like dipping in and out, because obviously if you'd have had the choice, you'd have been playing every week, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
But clubs are smart like that, aren't they? They let you have that little taste.
yeah,
Don't let you get too carried away and just like withdraw you a little bit.
yeah. I think I had not. So that first year was fine. So
Yeah,
I, enjoyed it, and then the second year when I was at Wigan, I found it really hard because I came through, played a good few games at the start of the season. Then I think they moved Joel Tompkins to centre, so I was 18th man a lot, but then not playing for the reserves. So I go like sometimes I go 4 weeks, 5 weeks without playing a game. But then like if you
was
then
battered, wasn't it?
yeah, but then you get in. So then say you get called up to the first team, you're expected to just fit in like that. But you I bet people have said it before. You can do all the running you want in pre-season and training, but it's nothing the
Yeah,
same as a match. So then
you
you're under
need
pressure to
game, don't you?
play well and get up to speed, but you've not played for 4 weeks. So I found it
You're rusty,
hard.
mate, no doubt in it. Yeah,
Yeah, I found it hard that second
yeah,
year just for that really because you're just not in it, and then you don't get into a rhythm of you playing because you've not played for a bit, and then you're in and out, and you play a game at reserves when you could because the days didn't match up, so you could end up playing for
yeah,
the reserves. But it's still not the same as playing that first team. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
But,
Especially when you've had a little bit of it as well.
but that's the way it is as
Yeah,
well because you're expected to go straight back in and be at the top of your level,
yeah.
which it should be because like you're playing for Wigan and you're trying to win Challenge Cups and Grand Finals for them. So, but it was just hard. I just found it hard to adjust to not playing and playing. But
Mate,
that's one of the
mate, game
reasons.
sharpness comes from playing, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, that's and then
Yeah,
that's like I said. After that, um, so that after that pre-season, that's when Widnes came and back up, and they offered me to go on loan for a year, and that was you basically guarantee me to play every week and get that experience of playing every week at first team and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
that was one of the main things that I wanted to go on loan that year.
Right. So you've basically answered that next spell, but so instead of seeing it as a kick in the face, mate, you grabbed it with both hands as a good opportunity, didn't you? And to
I
play
did.
week in, week out.
Yeah, I just looked at it and when he sat me down and he just said, "Look, and you needed to be playing. Like you've not played much this year in that second
Yeah.
year, but you've not." And he said, "Witness have come in year long and then come back." So I just said, "Yeah, that's fine." Go and so I think he had the meeting in on must have been a Monday morning, and the next day I was training at Witness.
And how was that, mate?
It was good, yeah. Obviously different because they was
Yeah,
coming back up from the championship. It was that first year where they got back into Super League,
yeah,
and it was like a team was just thrown together.
yeah,
Signings, and so it was tough. The lads got on. Everyone got on straight away. It were brilliant. Like I've mentioned, Tim Horns before Sherlock was
yeah.
brilliant. He was like the main person at Widnes the club would have fell apart without him, I think.
Right. You know, welfare stuff and that, just general
Yeah, he was brilliant.
touches that I think as fans, mate, I think we all think it's hunky dory, and you've got
Yeah,
welfare, you've got this, you've
yeah,
sometimes you've got F all, have you?
yeah. No, but Tim were really good. But then it was just we were just thrown together really. And like I got in a
Yeah,
little bit late, so they'd already started doing pre-season and stuff like that. So no, but we didn't have the best season. We'd lost quite a lot of games, but we'd just been thrown in together and just it takes that time to adjust, especially if people have been playing in championship and then
yeah.
but yeah, it was good. I did all right. one of the highlights was we didn't win for ages, then we beat Wigan at home.
Oh, the by the point, yeah.
Yeah,
How come you were allowed to play, by the way?
well, this was one of the things. So I was a bit of motivation for me.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, they let me play, and I had the best game I had all year against them. Wayne actually ran me up after the match. We beat him, and I played well.
yeah,
I think I scored two. Set a couple of tries up, but played well. And he rang me that night and just said, "Oh, well done," and that he ripped us there. So, but it was just one of them. But yeah, that was one of the highlights of that year, just beating them, and then. But we like when I was at Witness, that first year obviously was building, and we all knew that. So it was just trying to keep everyone positive. Do you know what I mean? When you lose, it's
it's like
hard to lose every
short-term
week.
pain.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But no, it was good. I loved it. I enjoyed it. Like all the lads were brilliant. Dennis and Cass and Dave Banks, the coaches were really good as well. So yeah, it was good. Good experience.
so yeah, and I know the initial agreement, mate, was to go back, which you did, didn't you?
Yeah.
Um,
No, so
did we try and keep you or
yeah, yeah. So how it worked then, I think I had an option. So I was in my option year at Wigan to go back.
yeah,
So they was doing some other stuff with bringing some players in, I think, or not, I'm not sure. So
yeah,
I had a set amount that if I signed again for this option, that's what they had to pay me. So I went and had a meeting with Wayne, and he said, we can't give you the money that you want for your option. And Witness had offered me a contract. And he was saying, I don't know, I really enjoy my year playing every week and getting into it. And
yeah,
then the money was a bit of the thing. Like in hindsight, looking back, I wish I would have backed myself a bit more and stayed that extra year and tried to like cement a place in that Wigan team. Just
yeah,
because they went on and won the double that year as well. So,
yeah,
um, but like I said, I don't really regret. Yeah, so that I literally,
yeah,
I was just sat down. I was young. Um, young single. I was living at my mum's, and I was like, Witness had offered me a good contract, and like I was one of five, and like I said, I wanted to get out of my mum's house, so I wanted to move house and stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah,
So I just decided to take that bit more money and guaranteed play every week, and signed and went. I just decided to go and sign for Witness instead.
yeah,
That came about, and then that's when Kev signed. Kev Kev Brown signed, and then
yeah,
me. That's year. We had a really good pre-season. In that second season, and we won our first game. We beat London. I felt the best I'd ever felt, fitness
yeah,
wise, strength wise, in my game and stuff. And started the season well. Played London, Nokia, and then I dislocated my shoulder in third game or fourth game, I think. So then I was just out for a bit that season. But yeah, but
yeah,
it was. I'm glad that I made the decision to sign for Widnes and stuff like that. Because I love my time there. We're brilliant.
yeah. No, you couldn't fault the product you were putting on the field, mate. Not at all. And a couple of things, if you don't mind me asking, mate, is when you're signing for club, so like for
Yeah.
Witness at the time, are you told these are our targets that we're going to go for? Are you privy to that sort of thing?
Um, and not really no, not really targets. Like you know that they're trying to build and they want to build
Yeah,
in so that first year we've just finished bottom. We only won a couple of games, but then you know that they're trying to build to get into that top eight half of the table, which we did.
yeah,
You know, as the next few years came
yeah,
along,
yeah,
we did. We got into that top half, and we were doing really well. But
yeah,
for me, I was just more sorting myself out. I was happy playing there. I knew they was trying to build. I loved all the lads. Like enjoyed the coaches. Like it's not fair from where I've always lived in Wigan. Not fair to travel there and stuff
yeah,
like that. So I just sort of sorted myself out, and I knew as long as I knew they was trying to build, then that was enough for me.
yeah, yeah. And was you repping yourself at that point, mate?
Yeah, I just did it all myself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And how's that? Is it like, is it, have you got to play hardball, Steph? Or can you go in and can you be direct? Because some of the things I like, we're both footy fans, we both support United, for
yeah,
instance, right? So do you know when like we'll watch Sky Sports News on like the 29th of August, like the
yeah,
Berbatov thing and that,
yeah, yeah,
like when we were growing up, mate, and some of the fine details that you'd have to go through to get it over the line. I know we're different sports, it's just
yeah,
an
yeah,
example.
yeah,
But
yeah.
how do you approach the fine details, and why do some, from your point of view, why do some deals take longer than
Yeah.
others?
I say that I sorted myself out. So when I was in the academy and then coming to sign first team, Andy Clark was my agent.
Right.
So I did my first contract with him at Wigan, and then he did my first one for Widnes. And then when it was coming to, so I signed 2 years at Widnes. It was always 2 year deals. What they did with me, I think
Yeah.
they did for most people. But and then I was when it was time for contract renewal and talks and stuff. My wife was we just found out that she was pregnant. Um, so and Andy's got all like Sam Tompkins and stuff, and obviously I was not on that level. But I
Yeah.
just messaged him and just said, "Look, Sophie's pregnant. I want to get me future sorted for my next couple of years." And it was just taking time a bit. Obviously, he was busy with different clients and stuff, so I ended up just going in to Dennis and speaking to Dennis about it. And then obviously it was James Rule there, who was sorting all that
Right.
stuff out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just ended up doing it myself. I said, "Listen, Sophie's pregnant. I want you." Dennis was always saying, "We want you to stay. We want you to sign." So I just said, "Well, let's sort it then. I'll do it on my
So you
own."
never really were left late, was you? You tended
No,
to be someone that was retained pretty early,
yeah.
weren't you?
So we
Yeah.
sorted it, and then from there, I just said that I'll do it myself. And to be honest, each contract then was pretty much exactly the same all the way
Easy,
through.
was
It
it?
was always the same, so
Yeah.
it was just easy. It was like the same. And the next time I signed, it was when we was having that good year. Do you know when we had Corey Thompson? Me and Corey Thompson were playing on the
Yeah.
week, and
We were at untouchable for like 14 games, weren't we?
me and Corey was like
Yeah.
top of the try scoring and stuff like that. So I was like, "This is a good time to go in now."
Speaking of a zero on that there,
Yeah, yeah.
Dennis.
So that was just that same again. So we're playing well. I went and spoke to Dennis saying this. I want to get my future sorted. So it was really good with that stuff. Then he just like, right, we'll sort it, and then signed again.
Right,
So
okay. And
yeah,
so obviously you were at the club in a time when everything looked rosy from
yeah,
an outside, didn't it?
yeah,
We were never behind them walls like you were.
yeah, yeah.
How how was it?
So
Was
then,
he as tricky to deal with as the fans believe he was, James? Or
yeah. So then, I don't know. I don't know exactly what went on and stuff like that. 'Cause
yeah,
I was always, I'll just go in and train, play.
yeah,
Some of the other lads was trying to got a bit more involved in that, but I just went in,
right,
trained, kept myself to myself, and did that. But then that year, we were building, weren't we? Like we was getting
yeah,
progressively better. We signing good players, um,
yeah,
different things, and it was good. Like we had a really good culture around, and we were starting to get that confidence where we believed that we could end up, that top. And then obviously everything started to happen with money and stuff, and then
yeah,
they let they let Kev Brown go, and
yeah,
he was obviously our best player. And then
yeah, yeah,
Gilly, I got on really with Tom Gilmore really well, but obviously
yeah.
he's not in on Kev's level, is he? So then he's
Oh,
expected to play like that, and it was
yeah.
just tough. It was just tough from doing that, and then we sort of just went backwards from there. 'Cause I think that year we ended up in, well, that have been when we played
The
Catalan.
middle eight.
I think we
Was it the
played
middle eight?
we beat Catalan,
Yeah.
didn't we? To stay up.
Oh, you scored away, didn't you? Is that
I
one? Was it?
scored a
Yeah, yeah.
tackle. Yeah.
So to watch that weren't pleasant. You
It
know
was
when what's on
horrible,
the line. Can't
horrible.
imagine it's easy to play in. Yeah,
Yeah, so like I said, so we'd gone from building, and then we had that year, like we said, where we beat Wigan in both times at the DW.
Yeah.
Beat them in the playoffs. Not the playoffs, the top 8 sort of thing. We were never going to get into that top bit, but we did well. And then we had the next season. We're playing in a game that can send us down into Championship. So it was just like big drop off, really. And that's when things started to get a bit like what's going on, with the club and stuff like that. Why we're not getting these players, and we've gone from like where we're really pushing to get into that next level, and we've just stopped. I don't know what went on or anything like that. Was never really. And then, but yeah, that game to play in, it was just we obviously were away in Catalan as well, so you're just nervous. It was just such a weird atmosphere. Like you can tell everyone's on edge, because it's a big game, but no one wants to do anything wrong. It was an awful game because no one tried anything, because no one wants to do anything wrong.
No one's trying to win the game, are they?
Yeah.
You're just trying not to lose it.
I can't tell you. So I remember we won, and the final whistle went, and I think it was a couple of points or whatever it was up, and won the game. And the relief was like a massive weight off your shoulders. But I remember I had the ball. So the whistle went, and I just launched it, and I just seen Danny Craven sprinting to our fans. So I'm like, I'm coming. So I sprinted over. We dove in Craven, and then net to fight, and then walked back on the pitch though, and then straight away I thought, like, turn down, like these Catalan players have got to go and play for the jobs next week. And it was just like, it's just a horrible. I don't know why he ever did that. It was horrible. Because it literally is your job. Like they got to go and
you're
play
playing for your life,
football, isn't it? Like because that's how I ended up leaving Widnes, because we got relegated and they couldn't keep us all. So and then you're playing for your job. So so then it's just like going saying, like commiserating all that. You could just tell like the drained and stuff. Like luckily they stayed up, didn't they? But that game was, and then the year after, we just never did anything. Did we?
Recovered, really. Yeah.
Recovered, and then we ended up going down.
So when Kev sold, mate, what does it do to the changing room? Does it ring alarm bells? Because really, it's like we're saying, we're looking at building, and then all of a sudden, you quite, like, for people that don't get rugby, maybe that might watch and listen, your quarterback's gone.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Well, for me, at first, it was more like I didn't understand if Kev went because he wanted to. Well, I didn't know if he went because obviously Warrington are that top level of Super League, aren't they? You've got your Saints, Warrington, Wigan. So you're not people at Widnes, like, you know what sort of club we are. Sometimes you've got to take that. Kev wants to win the trophy. They've got a lot more chance at going. So I didn't know if it was just that, but the alarm bell started ringing for me when we didn't sign anyone else to replace him. And we didn't sign anyone in any areas really to replace him. So that's like, like even it's so say Kev goes and he's a half, we didn't even go and spend that money on a prop or a back row.
Full back for Reece to step up or something.
We didn't do anything like that. So that's when alarm bell started ringing for me. So
that's fair enough. And where you touched on the dislocated shoulder, mate.
Yeah.
Just a couple of things about that. Is it something you knew instantly it was a bit more serious than a stinger? And two, how had you been with injuries until then?
Growing up, I never had any. Didn't have anything. I broke my thumb when I was about 14, playing at Saddleworth in winter, and I didn't know I broke it till I finished the game going in the shower because it was that cold.
That cold?
Yeah. I just looked at my hand, and my hand was double the size. I went, I think there's something wrong with that. But I didn't have anything. I had quite a serious concussion. I had quite a few concussions at Widnes. I'm sure some of the fans will sing, but I had a serious one playing in a grand final. In the academy, the one I was on about at the DW, and we had a good team.
Yeah.
Stuart, I always wind him up about this. He gave me a hospital pass, and it put me in hospital.
Not the ball, did he?
Yeah. So, Gaz Wheeler hit me. It was fair tackle, but he was literally he smoked me, to be honest. Anyway, this was about 10 minutes go, and I finished the game. We won, lifted trophy, everything. Back in the changing rooms, celebrated, sung the song, and got in the shower. Got out the shower, and do you know, like when you tie your towel around you so it stays on, I couldn't tie it, and it just kept falling down. I didn't know what to do, and then that's all I remember. And they told me I just didn't know who my mum, my dad, didn't know where anyone was. So next minute, I'm on my way to hospital. They're all like celebrating, and ended up in intensive care that night, just with a concussion. But I didn't know who my family was or anyone, and I think I was panicking, and like so they're trying to get this put me to sleep, and then I'm just ripping it out. Punch the doctor. I'm running around Wigan A&E in me boxers. Then they managed to get me to sleep, and then next thing I know, I'm waking up the next day, and a lot of people, because they didn't know what was up with me, because I'd not had any scans or anything, but because it could have been anything on my brain. And then I woke up the next day, and luckily I was okay, and I knew everyone was, but just like a bad concussion. That was the only
It's heavy that though, isn't it?
Yeah. So, like, my mum was trying to get me to play with a skull cap on the next few years, but that weren't happening either.
Yeah, so, no, I had to wear one, to be honest. Like,
yeah, so but then I was fine though. Yeah, after that, fine, carried on playing, whatever. But I did get a few concussions when I was at Widnes, when I moved up to there. I think that had the first effect of him. But you know, I may get them a bit easier than some other people because I've had that such a bad one.
Yeah, be well.
But then when I did my shoulder, that was my first ever surgery or anything like that. So, but I was tackling someone on the opposite side of the tunnel at Widnes, and I've gone over, tackled them in touch, and I've just put my arm down, and it just popped. So, and they couldn't get it back in on the pitch, so they took me off, and they just put it back in the changing rooms, and then.
But you enjoyed that, didn't you?
Well, they put it back. I was on that gas and air. They put it back in.
Loving it.
He couldn't get it back in for ages, and he got it back in how it came out at the top. And then when he's bringing my arm back down, it popped out again. I was like, God, let's get it back in. Then anyway, dead good. Then there's like got worse, like with injuries and stuff, like with operations and that. But I was literally having an operation day after.
So straight in it.
Yeah, straight in, and then I was out for 8 weeks. Which I came back pretty quick, but I rehabbed it hard. Probably came back too. Well, they say I came back too quick because I did it again that year. But I played 12 games before it came out again. But it was just another freak accident. I think I just dove on a ball, but in the same sort of position. But I dove on the ball and Rangy Chase dove on my back, and it popped out. The same thing. So, that was my season done then. But this time they put something off, so it couldn't come out again. So then I just had that. Then other than that, the injuries, it was like head knocks really more than anything. Then I had an operation on my wrist. The year after, I hurt my wrist. Do you know what? I think I did it playing football. But I think I fell off. I think I fell and landed on my wrist, but it was fine. But at the back end of the year, I was having painkilling injections to play with my wrist, and then till the end of the year, then I had my operation. But the reason I retired was what an injury really. I did my knee on the pitch at Widnes. A weird injury really. We were playing at Salford, and I've literally just landed on my leg. Nothing, and then it just went swollen. And then since then it was an absolute nightmare. So it went all right, and I played for a couple of days. It just kept filling with fluid. I'd torn something in your knee, but it was filling with fluid. But when I went to see the specialist, he'd never seen it before. He had to ring a guy in America, because NFL, they play on their pitches a lot.
It's official pitches,
So I think it was more common there. So yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so I had me. I did that, and then he said, "Will you carry on playing?" So I was just getting fluid drawn out of it with injections, and then playing at the weekends. And but I was supposed to have an operation at the end of the year, but obviously they went into administration and I ended up leaving. They should have done it really, but they never did my operation for me, and I signed for Leigh then. So
Yeah.
that affected. Well, I've still not had the operation now, so but that was the main thing. So when I signed for Leigh that last year, I was probably playing at 50% of what I could have played because it got really bad when I was
Suffering.
there. Yeah, I was having like 10 mil syringes of fluid draw out of my knee on a Wednesday and then after a game, so twice a week.
How was you?
Yeah. So it was
I'm gonna say it's interrupting your Monday to Friday before game day and everything, isn't it? It's like
it got bad. I couldn't train a lot just with it.
yeah,
But I said to John Duffy when I was at Leigh, I was like, let me have my operation now in the season because I'm playing. I'm not playing how I can do. And then he was just like, you're doing exactly what I need you to do. Just play till end of year for me.
So he's just content with it. Yeah.
So I did, yeah. And then but then that was when I just didn't, and I weren't enjoying it because I weren't playing it as I could, and that speed was my thing, and I was like running at 70% of what I could run. So yeah, just didn't enjoy that last year. But I'd signed full time again for Leigh for the next year. But I went, Christine is one of my best mates.
Yeah.
We met through obviously playing for Widnes, but we're really close now.
Yeah.
I went watching a Wigan game. Wigan and Salford, when Salford beat them in the playoffs. I went watching it with him, and he just retired. And he was saying, "Oh yeah, I've just booked holiday with all his mates. He's going Benidorm," and he was like, "Next summer," and he's like, "I've just booked holiday with my family. I'm going that. I can do this." And I was like, I didn't say anything, but I was just sat there next to him thinking, "Sounds well good that. That just sounds like he's got." He said I've got a weight lifted off my shoulders, so I was like, right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I came home that night and I spoke to my wife and I just said, I think I might retire. But she'd been wanting to retire for anyway because she'd just been.
Yeah.
You lose your weekends and it's a big commitment. Like, obviously, it's a dream job, what you were always wanting to do. But you still make sacrifices and they make more sacrifices.
Of course you do.
Really. So, yeah, I went down and then I thought I'm going to retire, but I need to speak to my dad and my granddad before I did. Yeah. So I spoke to both of them, and then they said, "If you want to retire, it's up to you." So I signed full time. Well, I'd agreed to sign full time. So I ring John Duffy the next day saying I'm not coming back, retiring.
And then your dad got his running shoes on. It was like, fancy a race.
Yeah.
No, do you know what though, mate? At least you were able to call it though, and not from an hospital bed or.
Yeah, that was it. It was just on me. I think that year before at Widnes as well, losing every week. I fell out of love with it.
Life out of you.
I fell out of love with it. I wasn't watching any rugby, so like I'd always watched it. You know, Friday nights I'd sit there, who's on tonight, watch it. I wouldn't watch it. Didn't talk about rugby or anything, and it was always a massive part of my life when I was growing up. And then, like, literally, I'd say the last year, I retired in 2019. So probably last couple of years, I've got proper back into watching it now. I really enjoy it again. So I think it's just the right time, I think, for me.
This sounds it, mate.
If I would have got my knee sorted, I could have played and carried on.
Yeah.
But it was just the right time, and I'm happy now. It was just more.
Yeah.
I made that transition away from rugby as well. So, but that year when I was at Leigh, I was personal training part-time, playing at Leigh part-time.
Okay.
So that was sort of a transition. And then I made the decision, like I said, to go back full-time. But I'm glad that I never now because I'd already started to make that transition over. And then I went into just normal reality of normal life, not playing rugby anymore. And it was tough, like that first year because it was COVID.
Yeah.
That was one of the things I wish I'd gone back full time now because Leigh got furloughed and didn't do any training. Could have got paid, but I didn't get anything in COVID. I was self-employed and didn't get any furlough or grants or anything because I was
so without.
So I think I was only eligible for £24 a month universal credit.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So it was tough first year. Got the job I've got now is brilliant. Just getting into that now, all settled and just settled them back. We're into like I always say, when I speak to my dad and stuff, he always says like you're into the rest of your life now. Past
Yeah.
because rugby, like
No, it
most people know,
was
it's not,
everything. Yeah.
and then it's not forever though. It's not like football.
No, it's not.
You play
Yeah.
football and then you're
No,
set for life, aren't you? But
you're set. Yeah. Oh, that's what I was going to get at. It's like you've been playing since you were 6, Steph,
yeah, yeah,
and then you get in that way where no disrespect to witness all, Leigh, but you're at an age and you've dedicated that much to the sport where you think, and it's no against John either, by the way, but you go, just let me get my knee sorted.
yeah,
And you
yeah,
think someone would go, do you know what? Yeah, go ahead, mate.
yeah. That people like you see it now. Like some of the players, I don't know if you've seen, you know, the ones who are trying to sue the things for getting head knocks and stuff. But you know what it
Yeah,
is. Rugby's given me everything that I've got today, so like I would never do anything
yeah,
like that.
yeah. Well,
You
you
know
go
that,
back and do it again, wouldn't you?
yeah,
It's, yeah,
you know that the he's under pressure as well, John, and because
yeah,
he's got to get wins.
yeah, yeah,
He's got,
yeah,
I understood that from an early age that you just a number really, and then if there's
yeah,
so you can easily be replaced. So
yeah.
I understand that, but I get what you're saying that people they could have just done that, but I understood. I don't hold any
The
grudges
other side as
for them
well.
not doing it. I
Yeah,
wish
yeah,
they would have sorted it out
yeah,
after I retired for me, but they never.
yeah,
But that's the
yeah.
only thing that I wish they would have done. But it is what it is now.
No, I know, and I'm made up, mate, that you're at peace with it because you definitely come across like you are. Do you know
Yeah,
what
I
I mean?
am.
But
I am. Yeah.
yeah, I just think it'd have been like a nice touch from someone because was you at witness when Adzi Tangata signed?
No.
No, so we broke his hand and we couldn't sort
Yeah.
him, could we?
No. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Well,
you're like,
yeah.
how cynical is that? We're in the
It
second
is.
tier of rugby league in the country and we can't
I
do that.
know. It just that's what changed with it all for me. Well, we
Yeah.
witnessed. He just couldn't.
Do anything,
I
could we?
did. I was a bit annoyed at Widnes because
Yeah,
I'd played there for so long and I'd
yeah,
done given quite a lot of. It's a lot of your life, isn't it?
everything.
And
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah,
I got injured playing for him, and then just because there's someone else in the background, like whatever happened with James Reed and that they can't pay for an
yeah.
operation that they should pay for because
He's
I've
done
been
playing for
playing for
us.
them,
Yeah.
and but there was arguing between them and Leigh for a while who should
What's
pay.
the
Yeah, and then
right?
we knew we was getting nowhere
Yeah,
with Widnes because of the administration and all that stuff. So
yeah,
we just left it.
right. I imagine really it's left a bitter taste in quite a few people like that have been with us or
Yeah,
and they've gone somewhere else.
I
I'm
don't
not saying you've got a bitter taste, by the way. I mean
know.
like we've let you down to a degree, mate.
It's, it's not the club. It was obviously James
A
and all them.
person. Yeah,
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 but you all. So the club, I loved my time there. I've not nothing
yeah.
against Widnes. I've been back a few times watching them since. So nothing to do with it. It's just the situation what it was. But there's nothing you can do about it. So you just got to get on with it. And yeah, that's it. That's how I feel. Nothing.
Yeah.
There's no point mourning and trying to get something out of him and or whatever. It's just is where it is. Get on with it.
No,
Everything's
that's it,
fine
mate.
now. Yeah.
Yeah. So the pitch is an issue for opposing teams. I
Yeah.
don't know. You obviously the knee
Yeah. You
was
know
done
what?
on it. Did you like it though? Or,
I did because it
yeah,
suited me because it was quick.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I just thought the bounce was a bit wicked on it, Steph.
Yeah,
On it.
it was, but you get
Yeah,
used to it because we trained on it, didn't we? So you used
yeah,
to it. So it was a bit of an advantage for us when we played at home because
yeah.
we trained on it every week and we was used to it. But I used to hate the cuts. I like to sleep in
Just
bed.
all the
I
bones
like
and
to
that.
sleep in bed
Yeah.
the day after the night of a game because I was full of cuts and we had white bedding. I used to have sleep on couch, stick to all the bed. No, but yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't mind it. Obviously, it did mind it. To be fair, that it got bad when
Yeah.
I think you're supposed to do it every couple of years because I know it failed for Everton ladies played there. And I think it was in the
Yeah.
Champions League or something or Liverpool, and they had to move because it failed the thing. The pitch failed
Right.
to play,
Safety thing. Yeah.
so they needed to redo it. But yeah, no,
Right.
the pitch wasn't really an issue for me. I liked it. Yeah,
Yeah. Right, mate. And obviously, I've seen what like the Wigan old boys thing do. You know, like a training
yeah,
morning and that.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that something you're involved in? And do other clubs
No,
have like reunion days or like that for you to go and
I've
have a
not,
pint
I've
at
not,
and stuff?
I've not had any yet, but like I've only just retired, and there's been COVID and stuff happened
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
yeah.
To be fair, a lot of a lot of them are still playing. Who I play with? Because I retired at 29,
You're
May,
still
so
young. Yeah,
a bit quite young. But no, I did get invited to the Wigan training day once, but it was on a Tuesday morning or something, and I was working, and then but I did so like I said when I first left Widnes, I went personal training at a gym. It was my mate Gaz Sykes. Um, he owned two gyms in Wigan, and it's like a bit of a CrossFitty style, but more for the
oh,
general split than. So I'd go there. So from working there,
yeah,
I don't work there anymore, so I'm just on the railway.
yeah,
But I met like quite a lot of good people who I'm really good friends with now, and they all still train
yeah.
there. I train them, so I treat the
Right.
classes and stuff like that. So I just go and
Yeah,
I go. So I've been this morning. That's where I've been this morning. 9:30 till 10 there's a class on.
right.
And I train with the people who I'm friendly with from there. Then, so I still go there three, 4 times a week, doing all that
Yeah,
stuff. So I need to do something because I hate not training. I feel like horrible if I don't do anything. So I've kept all the training
yeah.
up and stuff. So
It's
yeah,
what you've done forever, Stefan, isn't it?
yeah,
It's just
yeah,
in you, mate. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I was
But
always
if they get to a grand final, you're willing to get involved, aren't you?
yeah,
Just if anyone from Wigan's listening, you're willing to go.
yeah, yeah. No, no, yeah, no. It's I always loved the gym part of training. So like that's why I got into that personal training and stuff. So yeah, no, it was it's good luck. But yeah, I'm sure there'll be them reunions further down the line and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to think so, mate. Especially like you said, some of the bonds are for life. I know you don't need a reunion day. Just get Chris to organise a Benner down trip or something,
Yeah,
can't
well,
you? But
that's what I mean.
yeah, surprised he's not had you down or mate, having a run out.
He asked me about 100 times.
Does he?
Yeah. I'm not. No, I'm not going playing amateur rugby. I play football, but not rugby.
Yeah,
Well, me and Chris we see each other all the time. We live 5 minutes from each other. We've got a group. There's me, Gil Dudson, Stu Howarth, Paul Johnson. When Paul Johnson who played at Windsor for a bit, did a show.
yeah, yeah,
Peach and Matty Ashus, they're all in a group. So we all live close together. So we speak
yeah.
every day. And like I said, Chris was an usher at my wedding. So I'm supposed to be going out with him tomorrow, but his missus is pregnant. I think she's going into labour.
He's a
So
drop, is she?
yeah, I don't know if we're going yet now. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, like stuff we've been on about, Matty Ash, he'll be feeling that now, won't he? And
yeah, yeah,
especially like
yeah.
he's one of the senior players there as well. So
I think he's just signed again, and for next year, it's his testimonial
yeah,
next year as well. So I think he should be all right.
yeah,
I think he's already got himself
yeah.
sorted. But yeah,
No, it's good that he has, but it's again, it's like it's what you said about what heavy odds and bills and family and because it
yeah,
ripples, mate. It's not just a
it
playing
does,
squad,
but
is it?
it's it, it's hard to get back out of that championship if you drop in it as well, though. You know, it's not. It's an hard league,
Oh,
so
yeah,
it
yeah.
is hard. You
It's
need
the
to put
attritional
everything.
stuff that some lads haven't had to do for years without being rude. Like I imagine when you play a champ, it's like the rough and ready,
Yeah, yeah,
them places that aren't
yeah, yeah,
pleasant.
yeah. Well, when I dropped
Where when
down,
you're in Super League, it's quick and
yeah,
technical, and it's a bit about the wrestle, but
yeah,
you're up and playing it. And
yeah. When I dropped down, it was I found the physicality was a lot more,
yeah,
but it was a lot slower, like you said.
yeah. So got to that time of the chat, mate, where I've got a few daft questions for you.
Yeah,
So any pre-match superstitions?
I was quite bad, me. You know.
Oh shit.
So at Widnes, we had a room that was so. Have you been in the change rooms there at Widnes?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
they have the normal change room, and then they have that small one at the side of it for the home.
yeah,
And all the because I used to get nervous before games, so
yeah,
I'd go and sit in that room with all the players that weren't playing and just chill out and have a laugh. Just so I didn't focus on anything. You had players like Eamon O'Carroll used to get there an hour and a half before and he'd get his kit straight away. And I'm like, what are you doing? But yeah. So I'd just go and sit in there. Then we'd warm up at 25 past and I would start to get ready as soon as that clock hit 1/4 past. I'd start getting ready.
Yeah.
So I'd just get my kit on and then I always had to have a ball and I'd do 10 kicks, 5 of each foot. And then that was it. Yeah, I'd get my wrist strapped.
You were all right.
Was all right. But I did that every single game I played from being in the academy at Wigan.
Yeah. Can you play with both feet, mate? Yeah.
I'm all right, yeah.
Can you?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I was going to say before, so you went all Roy Keane on Gleeson for your debut and you can
I
distribute
know.
with both feet,
Yeah.
Treated him like Alfinger Haaland just to get
that was
heritage number.
Kept doing in training, yeah. No, that was so that was my only thing really, but just did them. Just once I'd done them kicks, so I always used to have a ball on my peg where I was waiting because they knew I did that. And if someone picked it up, I was like, "Where's my ball gone?" And he'd do my kicks, yeah. No, that was it. That was the only thing, really.
Fair enough. So the next word I'll use, mate, the definition for it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
But the toughest player you played with and against?
The toughest. I think probably everyone says Mickey Mack along, he's tough and he's good.
He's got players on the line, Mickey, doesn't he?
I'd say I'd throw Hepcale in there as well. And probably Sean O'Loughlin. I used to hit you and you just don't, he doesn't move and he just rocks every bone in your body when he tackles you. So them three probably.
Yeah, right, mate. So your favourite away ground?
DW. Just because we had some good wins there.
We did do well against them, like the top four, didn't we?
Yeah, I like going there just because it was Wigan and I was going back there playing my hometown, and then I used to like playing at who is it now? Castleford's grounds at a dump, but I always used to like playing
the older version.
Yeah, I like playing
the jungle
because the fans are on you. And I don't mind a bit of banter me, the taking mick out of me and that. I find it funny. So just a bit of that. I used to enjoy playing there as well.
Right, mate. So if you could go back and tell a younger you something, what would it be, Stefan?
I think it would probably back your ability a bit more than I did. I think my back end of, well, not back end of my career, more after I'd done my shoulders and stuff, I was more put more pressure on myself I was more worried about doing something wrong than excelling in what I was good at. So I'd probably say just back yourself a bit more than what I did. Back my ability a little bit more.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough, mate. And if you're out, mate, with Chris or the lads on the group chat and that you've had a few, and somehow you're up there, lights on your microphones in your hand, what are you giving us?
Oh, we do Elton John. That's why I call it the blues.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all went on holiday last year. That's what I normally do anyway. But we went to all our families. So me and my family, Chris and his family, and Stuart and his family We all went to Portugal. And the lads ended up going watching the rugby on the Friday night, and then we ended up staying out a bit on the strip, and we did it there, all of us.
Class.
Yeah.
Right, mate. And if you're willing to, a 1 to 13 that you've played with, mate.
I've had a little think about it. I've done it more of like, not just on how good someone is, but who I'd want to play with, like my mates, and there's a bit of a mixture of both of people who you have to put in, and then just my mates, really.
That's fine, yeah.
So I've gone Sam fullback because I think he's been the best fullback in Super League.
Yeah,
we've had. So Sam Tompkins fullback.
Yeah,
we get on quite well as well. If I see him round Wigan and stuff, we'll have a chat on that. But yeah, he's speaks for himself, really, don't he?
Yeah.
And then I went on one wing, Corey Thompson, just because of that year that we had together.
Yeah.
We were both playing really well. He was up there with a try. I don't know if Corey got the top try scorer that year. I'm not sure, but yeah, Corey, and he was brilliant for us when he came.
Yeah, he was.
And then on the other wing, I've gone Pat Richards just because of where he was in that years when I was at Wigan with him. He was brilliant. But then a little mention for Pat Urban as well, because I played all the time through the witness with him, and he's a great
What
lad
do you
as
want
well.
from your winger, Steph? Do you want him hug your touchline? Just to trust you to get put your head through the tackle or something?
Yeah, so I want him obviously be able to finish and just like more express themselves and finish and try stuff that they want to do and what they see, and then obviously put that work in when forwards need them to, and forwards need a bit of rest, and just carry it hard, and then just take your chances when you can't, when they come to you. That's all you need
Yeah.
for when you really take your chances, do them tough carries when you need to, and then everything else will be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
then
who are your
I've got
centres?
centres are both mentioned.
Yeah.
George Kermont and Martin Gleeson. I don't think you can go
Yeah.
wrong with them two playing centre. They were brilliant when they was at Wigan, and they helped me a lot, obviously, because that's who I was when I was coming through at Wigan. There was the two people who I was coming through as a centre. They
Yeah.
both helped me a lot just with my game, and it was just more like anything that you. Because, like I said, when I was before, I wasn't really one for going asking them stuff, but they would just say if they wanted to do some extras, they'd always say they know it'd help me, so they'd go, just do this for me.
Yeah.
But then they'd say, right, your turn now, so they know it's helping you. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah. Classy, innit?
yeah, the quality that they've got, obviously
Yeah.
playing, but it's more as well for just for what they did helping me when I was coming through. So them two of my centres. Then I've gone with 6 and 7, Kev Brown. Just because obviously he was how good he was for us when he played at Widnes. He changed how the culture of how we was, because we by the end of when he was leaving, we was expecting to win games. You know, that first couple of years we weren't going into games expecting to win, but pretty much every game we played when them last couple of years Kev were there, it was like we can beat anyone in the league, which we did. So I've got Kevin there, and he probably up there with the best player I played with as well. Kev, just with where we saw the game and his skill and stuff like that. And then the other one's Joe Mellor. I basically played with Joe Mellor every single year of my career, apart from that last one when we got relegated at Leigh. So me and Joe signed in the academy together. So we went through 16, 17, 18, all the way up till 29. So we always played on the same side when we were younger as well. So just Joe Mellor. He's class as well, and he's a great lad off the pitch.
He is a classy player, mate. He is a
He's
classy
good.
player.
He's good. I thought it was really good in the Challenge Cup final when he came on.
Yeah. I think he'd suit a bit of broken play, like the
He
way
does
the
that,
game's going.
that's his
Yeah.
his specialty really. He's
His
brilliant.
strength in it. Yeah.
Right, and then so 6 and 7. Then I'll go my props next. So I've gone
Yeah.
two of my mates, Gil Dudson.
Yeah.
Obviously, I love playing with Gil. He's absolute madness when he's out and then he's had a drink. But he used to he only listens to Lloyd White when he's had a few drinks, and he's that big in it, you can't control him. So I've
Yeah.
got Gil and then Eamon O'Carroll. Just Freddie was same as Joe really from going that first team at Wigan. We both played them 2 years at Wigan, and then we came into Widnes together. We played all the way through them at Widnes. Then he coached us at Widnes as well. So
Yeah.
and I've always got on really well with him. So got Eamon in. I struggle with Booker because obviously there's two. There's obviously Mickey Mack, who was brilliant, and everyone puts him in because of how tough he is and how good he is. And then, but obviously Lloyd White was brilliant, and for us at Widnes, and I got on really well with Lloyd. So I think I'm gonna put Mickey in just because what he is, but then Lloyd would be on bench.
14.
Yeah, that's what he was when he
Do you know
14.
what, mate? He was probably like our most, and I know, like, when people give adults that, they go, "Oh, you're saying they've been shit." He
Yeah,
weren't shit,
no,
but
no, he was
his
brilliant.
game improved
Wow,
so much
he was
quickly.
so good. His passing was unbelievable, and his
Yeah,
defense was
he
class.
could
And
hit as well,
yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
he?
But
Yeah,
he was a legend as well off the pitch.
yeah,
Really good bloke. Yeah, so got on really well with
like,
Lloyd. And then back rows, I've gone Liam Farrell, one of my best mates. I've grew up with him. So, like I said, when I said he was younger, I played an age up. He was in that team that I
he
played with.
was. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was, mate. Yeah,
And then even before we signed in the academy, we hung around together as mates and stuff.
yeah,
So then we've always been mates. I've just been for breakfast with him now. So
yeah,
he's one of my mates who we've been anywhere, but he's absolute quality in it as a player.
yeah.
He's someone that you want
He
to.
is class.
He must get in most teams that people have played with.
Yeah,
Just consistently been one of the best players in Super League for the last however many years, hasn't he? So
forever. Yeah,
yeah. Him and then Chris in the other back row, Christine.
yeah,
Um, he was class. Like I say, when we played, he was first name on team sheet most of the times as well
yeah.
when we were playing. But obviously, one of my best mates, so you want to play with your mates as well as that. So we
Of
had
course you do, mate.
very good nights out together as well. Probably too many, too many. And then 13, Shaun Wane,
Yeah,
best player I've played with. Still, I think he's the best player ever playing Super League. Just
he's up there, mate, isn't he?
what he could do,
Yeah,
and he just had everything. Didn't he? He's big,
yeah,
strong, quick. His skill levels on another level to most people, and his defense, and he's a leader as well. So, yeah, Shaun
yeah.
Wane was number 13. Not a bad team, that to be fair.